Hello and welcome to our video series on the resurrection of Jesus. In the previous episode, we responded to the fourth of 7 most popular skeptical theories concerning the resurrection of Jesus. In today's segment, we're going to take a look at the 5th skeptical theory, namely the wrong tomb theory. The basic idea of this theory is that the women, and subsequently everyone else, went to the wrong tomb. The neighborhood of Jerusalem is full of rock tombs, and you need precise notes to be able to find a specific grave. Given all the confusion on the day of crucifixion, the women weren't careful enough to take precise notes where actually they laid the body of Jesus. After all, they could only watch from a distance. So when they went back after Sabbath, they probably went to the wrong tomb, found it empty, and were really confused. How plausible is this theory? Think about it. The theory actually is flawed in more than one way. Let's discuss it. Firstly, the women knew exactly where the tomb was. Both Matthew 27:61 and Luke 23:55 record that Mary, the mother of Jesus, and Mary Magdalene observed carefully where the tomb was. They weren't at a distance. Matthew writes that they were sitting opposite the tomb. Luke makes it clear that the women followed Joseph of Arimathea to the grave. One of the women was his mother. Don't you think she would remember exactly where he was? Secondly, in John 20:3-8, we see that Jesus' disciples Peter and John ran to the tomb independently. They didn't wait for the women to lead them to the grave, but ran. That means they knew where it was too. How come they ran to the wrong tomb too? Even if they did make a mistake, it is inconceivable that they would end up at the same grave where the women had been. Thirdly, if everyone went to the wrong tomb, Jesus' body was still in the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea. When the teaching about the resurrection came up, the Sanhedrin could simply have gone to the correct grave and produced the body. That would have silenced the disciples forever. Fourthly, certainly Joseph of Arimathea would have solved the problem. Even if everyone, the Jews, the Roman guard, the women, and the disciples had gone to the wrong grave, Joseph of Arimathea definitely knew where his tomb was. He was the owner, and he would have gone to the grave to check out whether all this talk about the resurrection would be true. Finally, even if the disciples did go to the wrong tomb, the theory does not explain how the risen Jesus appeared 12 different times. In other words, the appearance of Jesus must be explained, not just the empty tomb. Notice that the empty tomb did not convince most of the disciples, with the possible exception of John, that Jesus had risen from the dead. It was the appearance of Jesus that turned them from scared and scattered and skeptical cowards into the greatest peaceful missionary force in history. This is especially true of the devout enemy of Christianity, Saul, who was Paul later. He was not only unconvinced by the empty tomb, he was persecuting Christians very soon after the resurrection. It took an appearance of Jesus himself to turn Paul around. It seems that James, the skeptical brother of Jesus, also was converted after an appearance of Jesus. James's conversion was so dramatic that he became the leader of the Jerusalem church and was later martyred at the hands of the high priest. In sum, the wrong tomb theory makes little sense. It doesn't arise from evidence but contradicts both evidence and common sense. As philosopher and theologian William Lane Craig notes, the wrong tomb theory assumes that all of the Jews and the Romans had a permanent kind of collective amnesia about what they had done with the body of Jesus. Thank you so much for watching, and if you do have questions or comments, please let them know and I'll appreciate your thoughts. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe. We'll look at the 6th of 7 most popular skeptical theories concerning the resurrection, namely the hallucination theory, in our next segment. So stay tuned and God bless you.